What's the word? Have you heard? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up?
What's going on? What's going down? It's your girl Vila Funk in the building.
And your girl Karma Custom for another episode, the 10th episode of What's the Word? Have you heard? What's today's topic, Vila?
Yo, we back on another round of relationships
Yes.
and the different situations of our lives that have brought us to overcome
Yes.
or caused us to be in a situation that we can't figure out.
Absolutely. And let me just give you guys some backstory about how this particular topic came into mind. I was watching this movie, Alice Darling, with Anna Kendrick. Great actress, by the way. Loved her in Pitch Perfect. She has an amazing voice. But her character was basically this girl who was in this emotionally abusive relationship. Like you could tell something wasn't healthy about their relationship, but you couldn't like put two and two together. Like you had to watch the movie and just kind of let it all unfold. But she was basically in this emotionally abusive relationship that was like taking over her life. Like she felt very uncomfortable in a lot of situations. It was forcing her to kind of like stray away from her friends and the people that she loves the most. And she was exhibiting some self-destructive like behaviors as well. Like she was pulling her hair out to deal with the anxiety. Just a lot of unhealthy behaviors as a result of this person. And I don't want to spoil the end. I definitely encourage whoever can watch the movie to watch the movie, because in the end, her group of friends just had to kind of be there for her. But it's such a difficult situation to be in, both as the person who's in the relationship as well as the friend who has to witness that friend in a difficult sort of relationship. But I mean, the whole deal is okay, what's more dangerous, emotional abuse or physical abuse? Because, in my opinion, emotional abuse is just as destructive, if not more destructive, than physical abuse.
I agree. Absolutely. Because your emotions, you have to sit with that every day,
Mm-hmm.
every single day. And don't let them be a water sign, girl. Don't let the person be a water
Hey,
sign.
I'm a water sign.
Me too. Me too. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's just overflowing with the waves. The waves, like it it be going crazy. You feel me? Feeling
Yeah.
like you're going to overflow, go up under, just overwhelming. Even though we're water signs, we go through the motions. We People have this pre notion or pre-judgment on water signs. I feel like, at least,
Oh, yeah.
that because we are water signs and we're emotional, that we know how to handle our emotions well, that we have emotional intelligence automatically. That's not always the case,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, it can, I think that's way more on the heavier side of things.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've been in emotionally abusive relationships in the past, but I've also been in relationships that started off as emotionally abusive and became physically abusive, which is interesting
Mm.
because it's like they had to get you in your mind first before they took it to that next level or that next step. And it's crazy. I was reading I had seen a comment about Anna Kendrick. Like the reason that she had done that movie was because of some relationship in her past where she
Really?
basically had dated someone that was 10 years her senior. And she felt like she was constantly being manipulated into being with him. And they were together for 6 years and he was basically torturing her emotionally. And so it was like very important for her to portray this role in particular, because we're also used to seeing physical abuse. Like we see it all the time, and that kind of violence like on TV or in movies all the time, but like nobody really talks as much about emotional abuse, and it's just as equally detrimental to a person's mental health.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you're bringing up this topic, Karma. And I definitely, if you feel comfortable enough to share, would like to know some of your experience of it, of that trauma, because there is a show that I recently just saw, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with. It's called The Idol.
Ah,
Again,
HBO
one
Max.
of my faves.
Yeah.
But I just heard, is this true? Is the show getting canceled already after one
Girl,
season?
it might. It might. I don't
Oh,
think it. Listen, the critics were harsh on that one.
dang. I
The
mean,
critics were harsh on that one.
I understand the chaos and the madness of why people are just appalled by from seeing it from the first time. Because when I've seen it for the first time, I was like, what the, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. And that also deals with emotional abuse in
Absolutely.
relationships. Like,
The main character is a pop star who grew up in a household that was physically abusive and emotionally abusive, and the person that was abusing her was her mother. So to hear her tell stories about how her mom would comb her hair like 100 million times a day, was use that same brush to like smack her with on set in front of people. There were groups of people that witnessed it for years occur, never did anything about it. It's like so many, gosh, it's like so many things that are layered into this big thing. And sometimes you have to wonder, like, at what point do people outside need to like step in? You know what I mean? When you witness certain things go on over time. But it's not just her character that's emotionally or been emotionally abused. Her character is also emotionally abusive. She's a very manipulative character and a great actress. So one minute she's your friend, the next minute she could throw you under the bus, and feel nothing about it. And the irony is that same type of character meets an equally manipulative person by way of The Weeknd, who is basically taken over her life, kicked her team basically out of the house, and it's like running things with this cult like group of people that he has
right.
roped up as his quote unquote team. And yeah, the whole thing's weird, but definitely, yeah, like a great example of emotional abuse.
Absolutely. Girl, from the first time I heard the name Tedro, girl, you could have ran from the beginning.
Girl,
How
the
you
first time I saw that rat tail, I knew it was a wrap.
with a rat tail, an ugly one at that. No, sir. Don't be coming up in here with no ugly, thin little rat tail.
Oh my god.
Where they do that at? Like, nah, nah.
Really, really. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I personally was in an emotionally abusive relationship young because I was in college young. So, just a quick background. I mean, my story is not that unique. Uh, I, like many Black women in this country, was molested at a very young age. And that to hide that trauma or internalize that trauma or hide this secret for years and not kind of tell anyone about it or heal or talk about it, like I internalized everything, so I became like the kid that would just like take everything in and say nothing. um and when it came to relationships, that's kind of the same type of behavior that would occur. Like if because I had such low self-esteem at the time, I attracted a certain kind of energy. I can say that because I'm in a place of healing now, but the energy that I gave to the world was like validate me. Like I need to feel loved, I need to feel affection, I need to feel like I'm enough. And whoever gave me that in that moment was who I rocked with. And unfortunately, they weren't the best people because they weren't the proper like energy to be clashing with mine. So, those type of situations turn into, emotionally manipulative situations very quickly, where they'll butter you up and make you feel like you're a queen and on top of the world. And right as you're riding high on this great high is when they start kind of getting into your head like, hey, those friends, they don't really care about you. Look at you, they're never around when you need them. Oh, like your family, they don't care about you, blah 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 blah. Like start, and then you start, after a while of hearing those same narratives, you start to believe it. It's sad, but it's true. You start to believe it. You already don't feel good about yourself when you look in the mirror, so it's easy to believe the lies somebody else is feeding you, because you've been feeding yourself these lies for years, telling yourself you're not beautiful, telling yourself you're not enough, telling yourself you're not worthy of love, blah 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 blah. I was trapped in this relationship for 5 years, and it's crazy to think I was able to deal with that for 5 years. Like when I look back now, it's baffling. Um, but the way that relationship ended, I literally told him I was leaving. I was moving back to the East Coast in 2 weeks. I didn't even have a plane ticket. I didn't have my bags packed. I didn't have money in the bank to figure it out. I just made the decision in my head. I sold all my shit. I used that money to buy my plane ticket, and I got the heck out of there. And even when I got out of there, it was not an easy situation. It wasn't just a clean break, because this manipulative person emotionally manipulated me to try to get me back into the relationship again. Made their way to the East Coast where I was to guilt and shame me into trying to be back into this relationship that I was trying so hard to escape. So I'm so glad we're talking about stuff like this, because there's a lot of women who feel that they feel trapped in their relationship, or they feel trapped in a situation that feels very much out of your control. And the first thing I would tell those women is get therapy, because you have to be, when you're making a decision that's like a big decision or something that's going to affect your life in a major way, you need to be in the right mindset to do so. If you know that you have the tendency to fall back, or this person will easily change your mind or manipulate you into changing your mind, it's important that you strengthen your mindset so that you can be able to battle against this thing that's so toxic in your life. And the first part is being able to recognize it and recognize that this is no longer serving you.
That's powerful. That is one of the very first step, that it doesn't serve you. What a statement. Because in the midst, I'm sure the thoughts that are running through your head, anyone's head, is the feeling that you feel, or shall I say, think that you feel, is the best feeling you've ever felt in the world, depending on what type of situations you've been in with this person, etc. And then you might say in the back of your head, well, this only happened this time or a couple of times. It's okay. We're going to go through these moments every now and then. No one's perfect. I remember having those types of thoughts with certain relationships.
Oh, yes. That right there. When you start talking yourself out of sense and sensibility, let those be red flags for you. Because I used to make excuses the same way all the time for behavior I knew was either out of character or didn't feel right. And, you guys have been in situations where you walk into a room and things don't feel all right. And you can't explain it. It's not something you've seen. It's not something you witnessed. It's just a feeling. It's a gut feeling, right? Same way you could walk into a situation and you've been planning it for weeks, and suddenly things feel off. Something doesn't feel right in the air, in the atmosphere. That's your intuition. Call it whatever you want. Your third eye, like it's constantly guiding you. And for some godforsaken reason, we always tune that voice out or second guess it. And that's where we get into trouble. Oh, girl.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. Even my own experience, I've done the same thing.
Talk
I
about it.
man, there's been first and foremost, there's been multiple different situations in relationships or situationships where I've never been hit or anything like that, but the verbal abuse.
Yeah.
And I thank God that I didn't allow it to go too long. But the fact that I even put myself in those situations really bothers me now, as well as knowing how much I sought for validation from everyone. That's also part of my healing process as well.
Yeah.
And realizing the way you live your everyday life, how you go about life, how you communicate with people is everything. That's a looking glass, a portfolio for people to see who you are, right?
Yeah.
And what you bring to the world, what they can do, get away with. Some people might think in a sense, what can I get away with this person and all of that. That you have to have that in the back of your mind when you're meeting anybody. And when you have a loving, genuine heart, a pure heart, it is easy to get taken advantage of if you don't sit there and know who you are, know what you will and won't stand for, and
Yeah.
why, period. And man, I'm still on that path and journey. It may not seem like to other people, well, you know me, but people that don't know me, like that's a part of my life and my journey, but it's real. It is a real thing. It doesn't matter if they're a woman, man, or they, or whoever, transgender, whoever, people who want to use and suck you up will leech on you if they smell blood. Any signs of blood, they will leech onto you.
And men experience emotional abuse just the same as women. Like
Oh
they're
yeah,
not excluded in any way in this conversation because
absolutely.
I have guy friends who've been in relationships where girls were like, you ain't ish, like, you don't do nothing for me, da da da, like you're nothing, da da da. Like the way you can break somebody down with words, like my God.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't think I answered the question fully. So there was an ex of mine that verbally talked crap about a family member of mine that had passed away. And I believe I spoke about this on our first toxic
Toxic
relationship episode.
relationships,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was just enough for me. I mean, I've never experienced this in my life, just ranting on and on, girl, on text. And then in my DM, like paragraph
Oh
pages
my
of
God.
messages. And then when you get on the phone, you at the mouth, and I can't even say anything. First off, that's gonna piss me off and make me want to fight you. And I'm gonna hang up because what am I sitting here taking this crap
That's
for?
abuse for, right?
Yeah. So, whew,
Oh yeah, I've had that. I've had exes where it was like if I didn't pick up the phone immediately, it was a problem. So
dang.
you become the person who has to dip away every time the phone rings, or dip away every time a text come in, or you never every time the phone ring, you like people like, dang, what's wrong with you? You like married to your phone, like you okay?
Yeah.
Like they don't even understand what you're going through. And there've been situations where my ex was calling my mom's house trying to reach me, like
Oh,
calling my mom every time she pick up, hang up, call back again, every time she pick up, hang up. Like, so now you making not only yourself look crazy, but like you also bothering my mom. Like, what are you doing? It's crazy. I've had an ex steal from me. He stole my iPod and he stole my debit card. He stole
ooh,
my roommate's laptop.
what? Girl.
I had an ex tell me, this the same ex told me, okay, I was moving out of my apartment and I told him like, don't come over. Like, I don't have nothing in my apartment. Everything's moved out. And he still wanted to come over anyway. And he came over and was like bitching and moaning at the fact that there was nothing for him to sit on. Like, oh, you got me up in this apartment, ain't nothing in. I was like, yo, I literally told you I'm moving. Like, I literally told you there's nowhere for you to sit. You insisted to be here. Of course, that's the night me and that guy escalated, and he basically choked me out of my own apartment. And
I'm
I
sorry.
ended up breaking up with him like a week later. But like, I think that was the first time I was in a relationship that got physical, and like I didn't even know what to do about it.
Mm.
Like, that shit was just so bizarre to me. I was like, it was like an out of body experience. I was like, yo, is he choking me out right now? Like, is this happening? Is this like he's really cutting my life? Like, this is really happening. And I
Wow.
just remember I started praying. I was like, God, I was like, please just help me get out of this situation. I was like, I don't know what to do. Just please like help me. And as soon as I stopped praying, he let go of me. I don't know why he let go, but he let go. And then I was like thinking of ways to get out of the room. So I was like, I need some air. And he was like, oh, well, just open the window. And he went over to the window to open it, and I ran for the door. And that's how I got out of that situation. But like, I don't know. For other people who get into a situation like that starts out as emotional abuse
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes physical, like it's an easy transition because that person has already broken you down.
Mm.
By the time it gets physical, they've already made you feel like you're nothing unless you're pleasing this person. Like,
Wow.
if they're not happy, you can't possibly happy or you can't possibly be happy. So by the time it transitions to physical, like it's not that hard to imagine. It's just kind of crazy because you cared about this person and you never thought that they would take it to that point, and then they do.
Wow. Um, that is whew, heavy, 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 girl. I do want to ask you though, do you remember when you were in that relationship, how it was in the very beginning stages?
Oh, it was very pleasant. Like I met him in a just a weird way. I think a friend of mine had met him walking down like Hollywood and Highland, which is like, okay, that should have been red flag number one. But I was a kid. What did I know? I think I was like 17 at the time that I met him. But yeah, he was just from another part of LA, and I was a fresh kid in LA and didn't really have that many relationships or people around me. It wasn't like there was guys lining up to date me, so it wasn't like my self-esteem was to hear. But I don't know, it just he made me laugh. He was a lot of fun to be around, and like we enjoyed going out and partying and stuff and hanging out. Like we'd have conversations, but I don't know. I don't know, girl. It started nice as it always does. Shit is always great until it's not. This guy was traveling for 5 years. It started out great. We met at a coffee shop. He was working there. I was a student at FITM. You know, we met at the coffee shop. He was kind of cute. You know, he was cute. I was cute. It was what it is. But he would come to my job and bring me drinks every day, like my favorite drink. So it was like, oh, he's so cute. But was he really?
Right. Let's talk about it. I mean, because me and you
Out here
both,
trying to trap people.
right, trying to get on my side. Hey, hey. No. But for real, we had briefly spoke also about how it's important for y'all, young women, young men, whoever, to learn about how to date rather.
Yeah.
Because me and you both share that experience of not knowing
Yep.
and just jumping into it.
Yeah.
And I feel now we're giving ourselves affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like you had that many affirmations when you were growing up from your parents or family members, or you feel like all of the affirmation that you're getting now was basically from you, like trying to relearn things and reteach yourself how to live yourself, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we, because of how society is set up now, we've kind of forgot what the entire point of dating is, right?
Mhm.
Like the entire point of dating is to find, I guess, your person that you may want, if you are monogamous, may want to spend the rest of your life with. So if you keep that in mind, the end point,
Yeah.
your approach is completely different. Like you're
Mhm.
not going to entertain nonsense. You're not going to entertain people that are wasting your time. You're not going to entertain people that just want to have fun. You're not going to, there's a lot of BS that you're going to cut out of your life because you're clear about the end results.
Mhm.
I'm not going to spend, see, we wait too long to have important conversations. Don't wait until you're 2 years into a relationship with someone to have the conversation about whether that person wants kids or not, whether that person wants to get married or not, because you just wasted 2 years of your life. If you didn't get the answers that you wanted, then what was that? What was that you guys were doing? You know what I mean?
Doing the do, girl. That's what it is. I'm
And let's talk
telling
about
you.
these people playing house. You over here
Oh,
with a
oh,
whole dude up in
no.
your house
How do you
and
feel? Well, okay, okay, okay. But what
what?
about the people that have kids and then they've never ever have, because it's different if you had the conversation. But what if
Exactly.
you never had the conversation? You have a kids with a guy, two, three, however many, and never had the conversation about, well, are we going to get married or what is our plan? And you just go along with everything because maybe the woman might feel like, or a man may feel like, well, at least they're consistent. Yes, we have kids together and we're not married, we're in a domestic partnership or whatever they want to call it, but at least they've been here by my side this whole time. What about that?
What we have to start doing is stop allowing fear to navigate our decision making. I
Mm,
know I personally have made many horrible decisions in my life based out of fear. Decisions to stay in certain toxic relationships for fear there was nothing better out there for me, or for fear that this is actually what I deserve.
mm,
So you have to
that's a good one.
you have to get to a point where you know who you are as a person and you know what you want first before you can bring somebody else into the picture, guy or girl. And it's, you know what I'm saying? It's the same for guys. You have to know who you are and what you want out of life before you can entertain another human being a part of that plan. Because even when you guys are together, you still have to understand your individual purposes. God brought y'all together for a reason, but it's not to fulfill the same purpose. He has his purpose, you have your purpose, and together you guys are completing your purposes and hopefully harmoniously supporting one another in the journey of, executing said purpose.
Mhm.
But to know if it's healthy, you have to understand your identity as your identity as a person first, who you are, what you want, what you like, what you don't like. And a lot of us don't do enough exploration of ourselves before we start exploring other people.
Facts. So true. And then also the little thing that we like to do and get busy on down to the ground, that doesn't help either. Getting physical. I know a lot of people like to say that they're the type of person where they can separate having sex from, the physical from being in an actual relationship with someone, and they don't get their feelings involved. That's awesome. That is amazing. If you
That's
can
a
do
bold faced lie. Anybody that tells you that is telling a bold faced lie.
that.
Let me tell you something about sexual intercourse that I did not understand as a child, much less, you know what I mean? Like it took me many, many years to understand the importance of this. But sexual intercourse is really a spirit, like it really is a spiritual thing you're doing. You guys are becoming one for a moment. What does that mean? All of the baggage, the demons that I'm fighting, the stuff that's my stuff to sort out, I'm now merging with you, your demons, and all the stuff that you got going on that you got to fight within yourself for one moment. The problem is, once we separate, I'm taking your baggage with me and you're taking my baggage with you. You
Right.
don't realize it, it's subconscious, but into the next relationship or into the next sexual partnership, you're going to bring something of me and I'm going to bring something of you into that next situation. Like,
Right.
you have to literally spiritually cleanse yourself of all these things that you don't realize. Like, you're tying yourself to every partner that you've ever been with, and
Right.
whatever baggage that they have taken on becomes yours to fight as well.
Absolutely. And to break it down even more for y'all, because we were teenagers too, woo woo. And
Whoop, whoop.
I cannot tell you how many times I've heard that over and over again, and just kind of let it just flop to the back of my head, like whatever, like okay, yeah, whatever, girl. No, but what that means, guys, is so let's say you have issues with getting your clothes washed on time, right? I'm giving y'all an example. You
Mm-hmm.
never can get your clothes washed on time. You go out there, you start meeting people, and you meet two, three, four people, and you thinking in the back of your head, oh my goodness, wow, I've gotten to know this person, and oh, they're having trouble getting their clothes washed on time too. You want to know why? Because you attract what you do, like what
Mm-hmm.
you are, you attract.
Yeah.
That's what it means, basically. So everything that you're internally facing, if you have suicidal issues or you have trouble getting your laundry done on time, whatever, you're going to meet those same types of people. And if you're physically involved with someone like that, it's making it two times worse than what you are already experiencing.
Yeah.
And it'll make it even harder for you to overcome to heal from it. If
I
that
mean,
makes
have you ever been cut in the same spot? That's not pleasant.
Oh yeah, nah.
When that scab is still trying to heal and then damage gets done again in that same spot, that's not pleasant. A
Oh
lot
yeah.
of us go into relationships like that where we don't even allow the trauma of the last relationship to heal, to learn the lesson, and to grow as an individual before we're reintroducing somebody brand new or some brand new situation, you know.
Well, I kind of question that too at the same time, Carmen, because I hear a lot of dating experts, sex experts say that you should heal. Definitely do the healing, do the work. But they some people say it's okay if you're healing and if you're involved with someone, but you're healing at the same time. What do you think about that? Do you think that's complete
That's
BS?
pointless. Yeah. What's the point in being with somebody while you're healing? I mean, if you're not okay, let me put it like this. Because if you're married, it's like, what can you do? If you married, you married. And you're not healed, well, you're gonna have to heal through this journey with your partner. And it's gonna be unpleasant, and you're gonna have a lot of moments of discontentment. But if you guys are both focused on the portion called healing, like, y'all will break through and have a marriage that will go through many seasons, survive many
Right.
trials and tribulations. But as a single person in a relationship, if you know that you have baggage that needs to be tended to, give that person that you claim you love, care about, respect enough, like respect them enough to say, I need this time to heal. And if in this time that I'm healing, you've moved on, I can respect that. But I cannot be whole for you if I'm not whole for myself.
Mhm.
And so we can't keep ignoring trauma. We can't keep ignoring baggage and act like we can just continue on with life like it's not dragging behind us. You got to make a decision at some point to cut that bag off and say, here's where I'm leaving it. And we're not going back to that
Mhm.
baggage.
So, on that note, that happens, you're in your healing process. Let's say the person wants to work through your healing journey with you. They
Bless
say
their
they
hearts.
don't care, they love you, they want to work through this with you together, no matter if we end up staying together or if we end up being apart. But what happens when you're in a relationship and your significant other, your better half, wants to share information with people about what's happening in your
Yeah,
relationship?
the healing. Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Oh God, you're talking about something totally different. You talking about people knowing your business?
People knowing your business, yeah.
God,
But
that's
they
like the most lethal thing to any relationship. Period. Like if you have I'm a very private person by nature,
mhm,
but and I'm glad I'm like that because if I let people into my place of peace, I would never have peace.
mm,
If you let people know the entire business of your relationship, like how do you expect them to continue to have respect for your partner, for example, if you choose to stay in the relationship, if they're doing you wrong, for example? Like how you have to be careful about, and you also have to be careful about who you get, like getting advice from. There's a lot, whether you realize or not, there's people that can hate your situation, like not want you to be happy, not want your relationship to work, like not want that. So you have to be careful who you solicit advice to. I believe it's important to have at least one or two trusted people that you can open up fully, and
mhm,
they have respect for you and your situation enough not to spread your business,
mhm.
and they are a model or care enough about your life to want, best for you. Like
Yeah.
those people, let those people in, you know have those people that you can run to that respect your relationship and want positive for you, a positive outcome for you. But I don't know, it can be tough when we're talking about emotional abuse. Oftentimes the person that's being abused does not feel comfortable opening up. That's the problem. It can go on for a really long time before people actually realize what's going on. For example, my sister was 10 minutes away from me when I was dating an abusive guy, and it's like it wasn't until he jacked my iPod and jacked my freaking debit card, I had to call my sister like, I need your help. I need your help. My boyfriend came to my house and stole my stuff. Imagine that conversation. She was like, he did what? She said, he did what?
Okay.
I'm on
Right.
my way.
Okay.
I remember being so nervous the whole way there. I'm like, like, don't get him too upset. Like, I don't want him mad at me. This is somebody who stole from me. I don't want him to be mad at me.
Mm,
Again, the mentality. Somebody could do you wrong and you still feel like you contributed to the problem. That's manipulation. So my sister rolled up, boom, 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 boom. He got to the door. She's like, you got my sister's stuff. I'm here and I'm not leaving until you give my sister back her stuff. I was like, oh my.
I know that's right. Girl, you mess
But
with the family, you messing with me. Mm.
yes, but it took her strength in that moment for me to remind myself of the strength that I had within me. And that's the same strength that helped me get out of that relationship very quickly, soon after that situation. So sometimes we need good role models
Mhm.
and ones that were trustworthy enough to open up with finally and tell what's going on and allow their love for us to lead us in the proper direction of escaping the situation.
Mm.
Because it's my sister's love for me that made me realize this is not healthy. Wait a minute, like how did I get myself in this situation? How are we still wrapped up? How am I still accepting your calls? You stole from me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when you've been brainwashed for a while, it's tough. It's tough to see it from the outside looking in.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing that. I know that's not an easy subject to talk about, I'm sure, but thank you for sharing with us. No, just to be in that mind frame and remembering the different things that you've gone through
Yeah.
in those situations, definitely hard, but also a part of your healing, I'm realizing as well. which is, we're all about the healing journey.
Yeah, being able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Save one life if you can, that's what it's all about. I hope somebody hears this episode, connects with this episode, and finds the strength to get themselves out of a relationship like that. Um, Tell yourself in the mirror, I am enough.
Mm,
I am enough. I can't say it enough. But when you get to a point where you can't even acknowledge yourself in the mirror, those are some of the times you have to dig deep and remind yourself of who you are, and that God did not get you this far to leave you now. And you got to trust he will provide the strength and the way to get you out of there. The only thing you got to worry about is moving. Go. Get those feet up, get the feet up and move.
right.
I did want to play one quick video.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because while we're talking about, right, how do we heal from this? How do we heal from emotional abuse, and how do you like see it in a partner that you might potentially date? Like, there's signals too of that kind of behavior, how somebody might behave in a relationship that you should be aware of as well. This guy on Instagram, Chris GQ Perry, gave a good video. Let me go ahead and share. Okay. You can see, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me
or if they are upset with them. It's a form of emotional monitoring, which is a trauma response.
I'm gonna restart it.
If a person is constantly asking their partner if they are okay or if they are upset with them, it's a form of emotional monitoring, which is a trauma response to growing up in an unstable or abusive environment. Don't get upset at them for asking a million times, but give them the reassurance they are seeking. The reassurance is actually helping them heal, and the habit of them asking will lessen. If a person is constantly asking their partner,
Wow.
So I just wanted to share that real quick.
That was
Um,
thank you. I needed to see that. I
mm-hmm,
feel
mm-hmm.
like I ask that question a lot too. Is everything okay? Everything okay?
um, if you are in a situation like that, know that there's resources, there's help. You're not alone. Number one, you're not alone. There's many of us that have been through that or are going through that right now as me and Vila are speaking. Um, Reach out to somebody that you trust and make a plan, because your life is worth it. Your life is worth it. And you do not have to be in a situation or in a relationship where you are not valued, where you're not respected, or your opinions respected, where you don't have freedom or feel that you have the freedom to make decisions for yourself. These are all red flags. If you don't feel you can think for yourself, if you don't feel you can choose your own friends, if you can't go places by yourself, you're not trusted to be around certain people without quote unquote supervision, or sometimes it's just plain verbal abuse and manipulation, talking down to you, telling you that you can't do things, talking down your dreams and telling you that you'll never, accomplish them, or make you feel guilt for chasing your dreams or doing things for yourself. These are all warnings, red flags. Run, run, run.
Yes, absolutely. You matter. Your opinion matters. What you have to say matters. And we're here, man. We have, information if you want to talk or chat of how to help yourself.
And please share your stories. We'd love to hear, because your story might save somebody else's life. We would love for you to comment on this video, like, share. You never know who this episode might be able to touch or might inspire somebody to get out of a situation that they needed to get out of for a long time now or have been contemplating it. So yeah, we'd love your feedback on this topic, guys. What do you think? What are your experiences with emotional abuse? Would you say that it's just as harmful or more harmful than physical abuse? Like, let us know in the comments.
Yes, please let us know what are your experiences, or what did you feel like you would do, like if you have been in a situation like this, you're currently in a situation like this. Like, we want to know what you guys think, what you're thinking about, okay?
And tell them where they can follow us on IG and TikTok, Vila.
Oh, yes, y'all already know, at HYH_podcast, you dig? That's going to be on Instagram and on TikTok. On here, our platform on YouTube, that's just what's the word? Have you heard? And that's where you're going to feel. Oh, and by the way, not to mention, I mean, we have a freaking Shopify.
Oh, can I share? Let's share the
Yeah,
page real quick.
we share
Yes.
the
What's the word? Have you heard? Has an official online store where you can catch some of our latest products and finds that we find as we're out on some of our flea market finds, our thrift store finds, the goodies that you may discover in the What's the Word Have You Heard shop. Be sure to check it out at What's the Word Have You Heard .myshopify.com. And I
Yeah.
got another thing I want to share with our listeners. We also on our Spotify page have a link where you guys can, you guessed it, you can donate and support our channel. If you love the content that we're giving, we love to create it, but it takes moolah. So if you want to help support us, there is a new support this podcast button where you can decide how much you'd like to contribute on a reoccurring basis. Support us, man. We'd like to reach as many people as possible. And really be a platform for folks to be heard, and have a place that they can trust with their voice and their stories. So we really appreciate your continued support.
Yes. And y'all know with your girls, as the Kiki Palmer would say, my girl, your girls. Yo, we want to hear from y'all. Y'all are our family. Do you want some merch? Y'all want some merch to come through? Or what's the word? Have you heard? Like, let us know. You can also donate here on YouTube. We'll link that up, connect that for you guys too if you want to donate here on YouTube. But spread the word, okay? It's your fashion sisters, siestas here, okay? And matter of fact, girl, we didn't even talk about our outfit. How about that part?
Oh, the looks, darlings. Yes, you will see these face earrings on the What's the Word Have You Heard online shop soon. I suggest you cop them because I absolutely adore this piece. Also got some really dope amethyst hairpins.
Ooh.
So for those of you who are into crystals, amethyst is good for like getting rid of negative energy, negative vibrations. So I keep these in my hair. Plus, purple is my favorite color, and my birthday, Cancer season A, is coming up.
Yeah.
So I got those off of Temu. Shout out to Temu. And then I also got Tupac. Like,
Okay, Tupac.
you know what I'm saying? Gotta
Oh,
represent all day, every day. What about you, Vilala?
oh, girl, you already know. I got on my long champ glasses here. These are prescription, if you're wondering. And then I've got on some little pendant earrings, my good old faithfuls. I wear these like almost every day. They're like my go-to. My black bandana.
Love it, love it, love it. Afro puff.
Okay.
Looking tough with your Afro puff.
Hey, rock on with the dance. And then I have on a Free Spirits concert t-shirt from your boy Khalid. And this,
I like that necklace. Yeah, I was waiting on that.
this is a shell necklace I actually got from Honolulu, Hawaii.
I love that.
Thank
I was
you.
waiting on that one. I was like, girl, let
This
me know.
is
That
a
necklace.
piece by Vera Wang. It's an
Very nice.
all black necklace here. Yeah, with some Cuban zirconia. I ain't got that real thing yet. One day. Don't judge me.
Oh, guys, let us know what you think of our looks in the comments. We appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. If you'd like to be on the show, we are looking for folks and brands to interview. Feel free to shoot us an email at hyhbookings@gmail.com.
Yes, and let us know why you deserve to for people to know what's the word have you heard about you, like what's going on, honey. You
Yeah.
want people to know about you, where you been, who you do, what you been at, whatever. If you don't want to share that, that's cool. That's your business. But we want to interview you and let people know what it is.
That's right. As always, we appreciate your time, y'all. Until the next episode, where we will be bringing to you much more exciting content, continued amazing interviews. If you didn't check last week's interview with Vanity Jones, what are you doing? Get back on the channel and check that out. That was such a live and active interview. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe on your channels. Till next time, peace out.
Peace.